So, Last Jedi alienates everyone. 5 months later, Solo loses all kinds of money, and then 5 months after that, October 2018, we get Rise of the Resistance season 1, which was a show that had a different. See, Clone Wars and Rebels had a nice, cohesive animation style. The tone was the same. The creative team was the same, and it all felt like it was of a piece. But then you get Rise of the Resistance, and you get a whole new style. You get all, and it just. I don't know if people even watched it. I saw some of it.
I didn't.
Yeah, it was just. And the thing is, you're already doing work in these shows, and by this time they're doing movies and books, trying to fix this sequel trilogy. Because I mean, already in The Force Awakens, you're having to figure out like how did they go from winning the rebellion to being this little resistance, and how is the First Order so powerful? And did they just take out the whole universe with that Star Killer base? How many planets?
Well, they have that redheaded general.
Yeah. So it's just like, so you're already having to do work, and I feel like that's what the Resistance was about. And then in May of 2019, so this is 7 months later, Galaxy's Edge opens in Disneyland, which is the whole Star Wars themed land. And that opens with Smuggler's Run as the big ride, which was probably at that time going to be, because it's the Millennium Falcon. And I feel like I haven't wrote it. It's probably more of an OG trilogy Millennium Falcon experience.
That's what the vibe I get from it. I'm riding it in April. We're actually going, so
you have
report back.
But I feel like in the design phases, this was supposed to be a solo themed ride.
You know what I'm saying?
They probably weren't going to center it around the original trilogy because. So the Smuggler's Run opens with Galaxy's Edge, and Galaxy's Edge, here's where they start making big mistakes. So you're 2 movies into this sequel trilogy that people aren't digging after The Last Jedi. And when you start rolling out your parks attractions, it's not based off the original trilogy. It's not based off the prequel. It's all sequel trilogy stuff. It's all First Order.
And nobody likes that.
Yeah, it's all First Order. It's not the Empire. It's not the Rebellion. And like, it's just so lazy. Like, I had to actually look up what the First Order was called. I mean, look around at all my Star Wars crap. I forgot what the First Order was called. I was like, Empire Light, Empire something. What is this cheesy Empire knockoff that they have?
It's true.
Yeah, I remembered Resistance because they both start with R. It was easier.
Yeah. It's not good. Like I said, I haven't been to Star Wars Land since they've, done all of it. We're going in April, so I should have a better view of it. But from what I've talked to everybody there, that's been there, most of my friends did not enjoy it.
Yeah. So that was May. They do it in California. August, they do it in Florida with the Smuggler's Run and the Galaxy's Edge. And it's not what it should be. It's just. And then they follow in October with Rise of the Resistance season 2. We didn't watch that. And then finally, we haven't had a ray of sunshine since Rogue One in December of 2016. So it's been dark times for Star Wars fans.
And it's about to get darker.
November 12th, 2019, Disney Plus launches as a service. And day one of the big launching points for Disney Plus, Mandalorian season 1 comes with it.
Fantastic. I love Mandalorian season 1.
Yeah. We finally get the combination that you're looking for. high adventure,
Mhm.
high drama, uh,
Mhm.
cute aliens. Like, I mean, I know people older than me. I was born in 79, didn't love the Ewoks.
Mhm.
But if you're my age or younger, you love Ewoks, and to you, cute aliens is just part of what Star Wars is.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
So you get Grogu, you get Mando, you've got the Western thing. It's just chef's kiss. This is what we were wanting.
Mhm. Not tied to a Skywalker or any
Right.
other character. Yeah, it
Yeah.
was great.
See, and this is what they could have been doing the whole time. The Rebels show, uh, the Rogue One, Mandalorian,
Mhm.
it's all working, and people, but The Last Jedi, Solo, a Star Wars story, they should be learning. They should be
Yes, they're
learning.
not. Disney never learns about anything that they do. Like that's we can get into an argument with Jonathan May about that, and Marvel's side is they never learn. They do
Yeah.
not learn from their mistakes.
I always just think of the South Park episode where they had Steve Jobs. And when you did the new license agreement on your iPhone, it meant that you
Yes,
consented it to be part of a human centipede.
the human syntax. You want me to eat the vanilla paste or the cocoa fish?
Yeah. Yeah. Then he's just like, why can't I make it read? Because nobody would learn. Everybody just kept accepting the terms and conditions. They're getting thrown into the human centipede. So that's Disney. But
In a nutshell, yeah.
so immediately after the success of Mando season one, in December 5th of 2019, this is the very next month in California, in Florida. Florida gets it first this time. We get the Rise of the Resistance ride. And then it opens in California 1 month later in January.
Is that the one that breaks down all the time?
Yes. In Florida and California, the only thing you ever hear about it is that it's always broken. So they're
Well, that's
big.
good.
They've opened Galaxy's Edge a full year earlier almost, and only has one ride in it, Smuggler's Run, and plus Star Tours, which has been running since the 80s and got a
Star
revamp
Wars
in
is
the
why
early
I can't
2000s.
go watch 3D movies. It broke me.
Yeah.
I don't know what it turned me like green, and I haven't been able to watch 3D movies ever since. So
Oh, wow.
yeah,
Yeah.
whatever it did, it broke something in me.
You got to get that Dramamine patch or something before you.
That's what I'm gonna do because I'm riding it again.
Oh, yeah. Star Tours is like, I think it's a great ride. So, but yeah, I've gotten older. I have to wear the patches anytime I do an amusement park now. I used to have a
Well, it
stomach
was
of
just
steel.
the being on the screen and stuff. Like you put
Yeah.
me on a roller coaster, I can do flips and all good kind of stuff. But
Was yeah,
something got me in that screen, dude. I
so
I, I thought I was going to puke on the ride.
so yeah, they've rolled out Galaxy's Edge. It's a whole year later, and your ride is sequel trilogy based. Again,
hmm
it's Kylo Ren, it's the First Order, it's the Resistance, and it's always broken. So
Which if that ain't symbolism, I don't know what is.
yeah, they follow that up. February of 2020, we get now. This was cool. We get Clone Wars season 7.
hmm
Uh, season 6 dropped in 2014 on Netflix. And that's one thing.
hmm
Disney gets a lot of credit from people by bringing us Clone Wars season 7, but Clone Wars got canceled under their watch. They're the ones who
Yeah.
stopped it at 6. you know, so
hmm
it's not like
Yeah.
George and Lucasfilm had canceled it and they resurrected it. No, they killed it, decided it was a bad
Yeah, they
idea.
killed it and brought it back to the from the dead.
Yeah. So season 7 comes out. Did you watch any of that?
No.
It was
You
pretty
will
good.
see you'll see a reoccurring theme with these newer Star Wars shows and stuff.
Yeah. You got Ahsoka in it, and she was good in it. And you got,
hmm
the clones were in it. Some of the guys you gotten to know from Clone Wars, like Rex and all that, and that was good. Uh,
hmm
October of
That's the
2020.
season they do the Order 66 stuff, right?
Yes, that goes down in
Okay.
that season. So it's pretty cool.
That's
October,
cool. I like that.
yeah. It actually played out pretty dramatically because Ahsoka's there and it goes down and like, Rex is there. So it's all pretty cool. Um, October, we get Mando season 2. We got Grogu
Not as good.
season 2. People are still riding high. It's looking good. Season 2 was where we got Boba Fett was in season 2, right? And that was a cool
Mm-hmm.
episode. Everybody
That
liked
was. There were parts of season 2 I really liked, but overall it was diminishing returns from season 1. I
yeah.
believe season 2 also had WWE superstar Sasha Banks in it. I thought that was cool.
Yeah. I mean, and here's another Mando is suffering from the JJ thing. They don't have a plan. We're just playing with toys. We don't have an outline. We don't really know where this ends.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, season 2 ended with like probably one of the most universally acclaimed moments since the Vader fight in Rogue One. Luke shows
Yeah.
up. He goes through
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
he goes through them Imperial dudes like a hot knife through butter. He takes Grogu and he's going to train him, and it was really cool. So, and then
Yeah.
we got another thing. Barry on it. Mando season 2 is where they should have ended the story. It had such a natural feeling. Well, yeah, they end it with Grogu.
Yeah.
Mandalorian gets Grogu to Luke. Luke's going to train him. But then, I mean, then you got to deal with the sequel trilogy being, ass. You got to deal
Mm-hmm.
with the fact that, okay, he took Grogu. So did Kylo Ren kill Grogu? Is Grogu dead now? Is he a
Yep,
knight
that's
of
the
Ren?
problem.
What happened? So we follow up Mando season 2 with the cut and paste disaster. It's December 20th, 2020. We get the rise of Skywalker.
That's all I got.
This is the
At the
like
at the end of that movie, I just sat there in silence. I was just like, none of this makes any sense. Like, why did they do anything that they did in that movie?
yeah. Well, because here's the thing: when you're painting the floor in a room,
Uh huh.
you got to start at the far end and paint your way to the door, right?
Yes.
If you
No,
start
you
at the
start in the
door,
center.
if you paint yourself into the corner, then you got to walk through the paint to get out of the room and then mess up the whole house with your paint feet. So that's the rise of Skywalker. Basically, by the end of The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi, you've got a bunch of gobbledygook that's not going anywhere. And they're just like,
Mm-hmm.
how are we going to put a bow on this by the end of one movie?
And they don't. They try. Oh my god, do they try? But
Oh, it's just like, and they bring back JJ. And if you wanted to know that he had no plan, you could just, he had no plan.
oh no doubt, they were not expecting Brian Rain Johnson.
Rain, yeah, I think, yeah.
Yeah, they were not expecting him to just crumple up all their ideas and be like, "No, I'm gonna kill the past."
Yeah.
And he's like, "No, we gotta. How are we gonna make money off of
Yeah.
it?"
If you kill the past, then what do we do now?
we we spent billions of dollars on this IP.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's just a bunch of now Rey's a Palpatine. Finn still doesn't have anything to do.
No, she's a Skywalker at the end.
Yeah, well, because she identifies as a Skywalker, so maybe they were getting some messaging in early.
Oh yeah, they were. It crawled so the acolyte could run.
Yeah, yeah. She identifies as a Skywalker, so that makes her a Skywalker. But I mean, you're not really going to go around the universe introducing yourself as a Palpatine, I guess.
Well, I mean, here's the real question: like, who asked, like, "What's your name?" No, your last name. Who does that?
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of people in like Star Wars that like don't even. I don't know, man.
You know what she could have done? She could have looked at him and been like, I looked at her and been like, I don't have a last name. And the lady could have been, you'll be Ray Solo.
Yeah. It's like, are you by yourself? Yeah, it's just me. Oh, what a load of crap. And like she spent like, I don't know. I don't remember the Last Jedi that well. Like, how long did she even spend with Luke? Like, not long.
Like a week.
A week. And he was
And he
not
was
nice to her.
mean to her the entire time. Well,
He was totally mean and dismissive. I mean, and then she spent more time with Leia.
that's true. Leia trained her because Leia's really good with the Force. She just didn't know it.
Yeah. And then Leia's last name is Organa, in case anybody forgot. So
Yeah.
she could be Ray Organa. But she spent the whole first movie hanging out with Han.
She should have been Ray Solo. That lady should have been like, well, I guess you're just a solo. And she should have been like, yeah, I am.
Yeah. So, yeah, you just spend a whole movie just pulling stuff out of your butt. And they're like, we've already.
Let's put the Death Star back in it. And wouldn't it be cool if our main protagonist wanted to have sex with our main villain?
Because
that's sure that's my read on it.
That's a theme that they're going to come back to. That's a theme they really like in Disney Star Wars.
We will get back to it. Also,
yeah, they're planting seeds. But
Anakin,
I mean,
not that important, guys. He was not chosen. Okay.
Yeah, Anakin is just a dude. That's it. He's just some random dude. Don't worry about it.
Anybody can be impregnated by the Force. Anybody.
Yeah. Anybody. So it's just. It's just such a mess. And they're like, man, well, we've killed off Luke and we've killed off Han. So we'll have Han come back in a fever dream by Kylo Ren. And then Leia is actually for real dead. And they're like, oh, you know what? We just found Billy D's phone number because we've lost all the nostalgia in this movie. So, you know what? Lando Calrissian, here we come, you know?
And how jacked up would it have been if Lando came out with a robot? We would all know.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I hope that Billy D got paid a lot of money for that movie.
Oh, I'm sure he did.
Because after getting snubbed for the first two movies,
twice.
Yeah. He should have told them to get bent. And I hope that he did. I hope he told them to get bent a bunch of times until they backed up a Brinks truck and paid him to be in that movie.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I hope that as well. Didn't they kill Admiral Akbar in that movie as well? That's the second one they kill Akbar.
No, was he part of that big assault when the people showed up to fight the new Imperial?
I believe so, but I believe he dies. Because I remember being like, okay.
I can't remember which one he dies in. They just love killing people. We didn't even talk about the
They love killing people and telling you that important people are not important.
Yeah. Which one did they fake us out and make us think Chewie was dead and then he wasn't dead?
That's the third one.
But
they do that. They're so crappy with the way they do it because, like, the ship blows up, everybody looks sad. The next scene, they're like, "Ha Chewie, they think you're dead." Like, you didn't even have time to breathe.
Yeah. You didn't get 1 minute to feel like, I mean, why bother? You know, it doesn't even.
Also, we find out that Ben Kenobi is kind of a jerk because he totally could have healed Qui-Gon Jinn.
Oh yeah,
because you can just heal things with the Force now.
So why did he do it? Like, why did he let his master die? I guess he's just a dick.
Yeah, he was like, I'm gonna be the master now. I'm tired of this.
Now we get all the new reasons why he's an ass coming up. So,
trust me. Yeah, I know we do.
So then we follow that up. May of 2021, we get the Bad Batch season 1, which is a prequel. Yeah, it's a prequel era cartoon with a special unit of clone troopers. It's, I think, Order 66 takes place within the runtime of maybe this season or the second. It's a decent show, but by now they've messed up the mainline continuity so bad that you don't really care about these side characters that you cared about anymore. So, like when you were having fun with Rogue One and you were having fun with Rebels, now you're just like, screw you guys. I don't. And then, okay, it's salt in the wound time.
Okay.
December 29th, 2021, we get Book of Boba Fett.
Is this where kind of the, like, and I hate to use this expression, but this is where they start to get more woke?
Yeah, I feel like it's in there because Boba's not the star so much. They got the what's her name? The woman, the Asian lady. She's like a big part of it. And here's the thing: when they said they were making a Boba Fett show, you just that's problematic. I know there's a lot of Boba Fett fans out there, but the coolest
but
thing,
you like him because you don't know anything about it,
right?
It's the mystery.
The more you know, the lamer it becomes. Whatever you were imagining it could be is way better for you than anything that they could like come up and tell you it was. Like
1000%.
And so this guy had stayed mysterious since like what was Empire Strikes Back was like 1982, I think, or 3.
And he's the best character in those movies because you don't know anything about him. He looks cool, he kicks butt, and then he leaves.
Yeah. He was a mystery for 30 years.
Yeah, exactly. Not anymore. Disney said there will be no mysteries.
Yeah. And now he's just a dude like hanging on a Tatooine, wanting to run a criminal
Not
empire.
Even the main character of his own show.
Yeah. Well, it's a crap show until they spend 3 episodes falling around the Mandalorian.
Yeah, you know? Which is basically Mandalorian season 3.
Yeah, and then you get the whole Mandalorian episodes, which is just like Star Wars. It's like one of those Discovery Channel shows where they fix up cars. You get you get a whole Star Wars episode of that. You know.
Now let me ask you this: is this around the time that they fire that Gina girl?
Let me think. They fired her. Yes, they fired her after Mandalorian season 2 because after season 2 she was supposed to get her own show.
Yeah, and she made a joke about pronouns or something, right?
Yeah,
or
she got fired.
Like
yep, and so New Republic Rangers couldn't get made.
That's right, and people got mad about that. So Disney is constantly just pissing people off, it seems.
Oh, yeah. Which probably they might have had to rush to make Book of Boba Fett because the plan was to make this Gina Carrera show.
Yeah.
You know, they're like, oh, well, we got to make something. And that's what, and I've been arguing with Jonathan about this and Tim a little bit. The problem with Lucasfilm and also even more with Marvel is these are full-fledged film studios and they're subsidiaries of Disney. And the full-time job of everybody there is to make more content.
Yep. Not even quality content, more content.
Yeah. And you have to, whether you have a good idea or not, the full-time job of everybody there is we have to make more stuff based on this all day, every day. And like Lucasfilm was a film studio, but when George Lucas owned it, you know, you could do Star Wars, but then you could do American Graffiti, and then you could do Indiana Jones. And if he had a new idea, you could make something new. But once Disney buys Lucasfilm, they're like, okay, this is the IP that you created before we bought you. This is your sandbox. Make more stuff based on that all day, every day. Just like Marvel. This is your sandbox. If it appeared in these comics, this is what you make stuff about all day, every day. Don't worry
And
about
there's no quality. I mean, like everything in the first phase of like Marvel, and I would say the first three of Star Wars was so perfectly planned out.
yeah,
And now there's no plan because it's just like more stuff, more stuff, more stuff.
yeah,
It's
more
really
stuff.
depressing.
And so, hey, I'm gonna
Very
give
depressing.
if you guys, I'm gonna give my more stuff rant real
Okay.
quick. I've
All
been,
right, I got time, of course.
yeah, and it goes back to technology and stuff. The home video was part of it before, but streaming has stolen special. It's
Mhm.
taken it away. Uh,
Mhm.
I saw,
I agree with that.
I I saw Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, not some stupid movie with the Ziegler girl, the actual classic cartoon. I saw it in theaters. I saw it in theaters when I was 3 years old. And it's one of my
Mhm.
earliest memories. I can't believe that I remember it. I didn't realize how young I was until I looked this up. I was
Mhm.
3 and they took me to see it because it was in theaters, not as one of those things that you get an email about because, you know, Cinemark or
Phantom.
AMC is doing like a limited release thing. No, it was a
Mhm.
major nationwide theatrical re-release in 1983.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
or it was 84. So it was major. It was, and it made it special. And like I watched The Wizard of Oz every year in December on network television. It was
Mhm.
actually January. And it ran for
Mhm.
30 years. And the thing about that is when you do a major re-release for a film in theaters all at the same time, or if something's on TV and there's only like 3 or 4 networks,
Mhm.
everybody watches it at the same time. And then you have a
Mhm.
national conversation about it. Like, you know,
Yep.
I could have watched The Wizard of Oz last night, but who am I going to talk about The Wizard of Oz with? Nobody,
Yeah, that's true.
you
I
know?
get it. And
And
I'll go one. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah.
I'll go one further because I've had this realization with my two children. My first movie I went to go see was Jurassic Park. I was 5 years old,
Oh, wow.
and Abigail's first movie, my 8 year old, was a remake of Lion King. Nora's first movie, my 2 year old, was Inside Out 2. So now it's just either you're going to take your kids to see a remake or
Yeah.
a sequel.
Yeah.
Like all originality has been killed because it's just about putting out content, putting out content. Not no one wants to take a chance on something original.
Well,
It's like that in every form of entertainment, even like music and stuff.
yeah.
Like just sound like everyone else. Just put something out, and it's frustrating.
And the thing is, uh, I get these excuses when I complain about Star Wars sequels and Marvel putting out too much stuff. They say, well, it keeps it in the public consciousness. You know
If
what
it
I'm
were
saying?
good, it would be in the public consciousness.
Right. And it keeps it out there so people remember it. It used to be that you didn't have to have new versions and reboots and sequels to keep things in the public consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Oh
uh,
yeah,
Gone with the Wind came out in the 40s or 50s, and it was huge for like 40 years. We
still is huge.
all remember the Wizard of Oz, and I know this Wicked
Mm-hmm.
thing is coming out, but the Wizard of Oz didn't need a bunch of reboots, remakes, and
Mm-hmm.
sequels for people to remember the Wizard of Oz.
Exactly, because it was well done and it was an original idea, and original ideas always stick with people.
Right. And
That's the
so,
reason people quote The Shining so much, or people quote Jaws, or
right.
because all those are original ideas that aren't carbon copies of something else.
Yeah. And so studios used to be able to monetize these things, these IPs, by
Mm-hmm.
putting them back in theaters, by airing them on networks, and they would stay in the consciousness because we would all watch them at the same time. But now that it's all on streaming, now that you can watch something anytime, you don't have to watch it anytime at all.
Yeah,
You
it's
know,
not special anymore.
yeah,
It loses its.
yeah. And you're like, I'll watch it tomorrow. So you never do. You don't watch it again. And then you
Yeah,
don't feel like doing it because you're not going to talk about it with anybody because nobody else is watching it. So,
and the only thing that I know where we have a national conversation with two things. We talk about the Super Bowl
yeah,
because everybody watches the Super Bowl, and we talk about elections. Nothing else do we have like a common like, dude, did you go see Jurassic Park last night?
yeah,
Have you seen Jurassic Park yet? Wasn't it crazy when this happened in that
yeah.
movie?
And that's why sports have gotten, that's what all the networks fight over because it's the only thing like
Mm-hmm.
sports, something about it. You have to watch it live or it just doesn't,
Or
it's
it
like,
doesn't have the same. It doesn't
it
hit.
doesn't hit. Like you just like if you're watching a game that you tape, you just want to fast forward to the end and see who won.
Yeah,
That
exactly.
doesn't matter. And so, and even television has turned into like Erzat Sports with all these reality competitions, a Masked Singer and Dancing with the
Mm-hmm.
Stars, so that people watch it live and react to it. Because all the
Yeah.
scripted stuff, there's just so much of it, and you can watch it whenever. So there's no events anymore. So it
Well,
just
yeah, I feel like. Hang on. And just know this.
oh yeah, that Star Wars is not an
Yeah.
event anymore. Streaming killed that from ever happening again. I, I don't. I mean, I don't know if there's a way back. Do you think there's a way back where things can be special?
Well, you gotta cut it. You can't put it immediately out on streaming. Like
Yeah,
things need to like, and you need more original content. I think if you had original content, it could come back easily.
right.
But we don't have any original content left. Like nobody's making anything because all these studios are like, I'm not gonna give you $1 billion to go make your weird shark movie. Give
Yeah,
me another Star Wars movie.
yeah,
And
and
it's like,
it's
what
why
are we
you get
doing here?
yeah. It will. I mean, and I haven't seen the movie, and it's probably bad because everybody said it was. But 10 years ago, if somebody told you Francis Ford Coppola was going to self finance his dream project with an all-star cast, and it's about the
Mm-hmm.
fall of the Roman Empire set in a sci-fi futuristic setting.
Oh, I
You,
haven't watched that either, but at least it's an original. I will. I'll watch it at some point in time because it's original. Like,
but you would have thought that would have been gangbusters. Like that just
hmm
sounds. It sounds great. I mean, people say it's not, but I can't. He
people
couldn't
would
get
have tried.
anybody. He couldn't get a studio to take it, and he's Francis Ford Coppola.
I know,
You know,
a legend.
yeah, and that's why you get stuff like Todd Phillips, who you could tell hates comic books, hates comic book fans, hates everything to do
Hmm.
with comic book properties. But he wants to make a Martin Scorsese movie. And the
Yep.
only way he can get a Martin Scorsese movie in theaters and make money is to cram a character called the Joker in it. Now, is that character the
Hmm.
Joker? No,
No.
it's not. It's a cross
And
between the
then
guy.
you get even it
Go
gets
ahead.
even more soulless because the studio's like, you got to make a sequel now, and he's like, I don't want to make a sequel. You could tell you didn't want to make the movie
Yeah,
after Joker 2,
yeah. It's like
and
I
I
didn't
feel
want to
like
have the
that's what's
Joker.
going on with
Yeah, I didn't want that one to be called the Joker, and it was. Now you want me to do
yeah,
it again?
and and I feel like that's what's happening with Star Wars is like there are good writers that are like,
Oh, that's Tim's going to bed.
no problem, Tim, I
Very good.
understand. But you get like the only writers that Star Wars can get now is writers that have a more political agenda.
Yeah,
Like no, like if I'm a writer, I want to write my own stuff. I don't want to write fan fiction for George Lucas, and that's what all these new shows and stuff feel like to me. It's just
yeah,
fan fiction for somebody else. Like
yeah. You're
I don't
playing
know,
with somebody
it's
else's
it's
sandbox, and
yeah,
so
it's incredibly frustrating.
anyway, we get our book of Boba Fett, and we ride rancors like horses, and we find out way more about Boba Fett than we ever wanted to know. We
And
get
it
a
turns
low,
out he's kind of lame.
yeah, All that mystery, he's just a lame dude who wants to hang out in Jabba's palace and be a less cool Jabba, basically.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Yeah, you get a low-speed Power Rangers chase through the streets of Mos Eisley, and
Do you ever?
hey, you've just finished part 2 of the 3-part discussion between me and Jason about the history of Disney Star Wars. If you caught on in the middle and want to go back to the beginning, you can watch part 1 right here. You can watch part 3 right here if you want to keep going for it, or if you want to just watch the whole thing in one take plus some tangents about horror movies and stuff, you can watch the original live stream right down there.